In astrology, Venus shows our love style. It shows what we find pleasurable, what we find attractive, and what we value. So, if you're wanting to know how someone is in love, you want to look at their Venus placement. So, now let's talk about Venus in the sign of Pisces. So, Venus in this placement is considered exceptionally strong because this is the sign that Venus is exalted in, meaning that it can actually manifest its highest potential in this sign. So, when you see someone or you have Venus in Pisces, you want to really make note of it because these are the true lovers of the zodiac. These people are capable of the highest potential form of unconditional love and romance and beauty and true givingness. Now, interestingly enough, even though this placement is exalted, they tend to have quite a few difficulties in love as well because of their giving, non discriminating heart. So it's common for people with Venus and Pisces to have more than one love affair in their life that is significant or meaningful. Sometimes they could have more than one love affair in their life happening at once, although this is not always the case. But this sign does seem to show sometimes there is a hidden affair or there is like a confusing sort of love triangle situation. Or maybe the Venus and Pisces person is perpetually in love with someone who is unavailable or not really there, or like a celebrity or not even real, or there's something confusing or ethereal about the Venus and Pisces person's love nature. And it doesn't always have to manifest like that, but it definitely can, because when you think of the sign of Pisces, it's like the ocean, right? I mean, it's the fish in the ocean, but it's even like in general, like this is the water sign that is all encompassing and it's vast and it's boundless. So when you have that energy coming through Venus, the love planet, sometimes they can love so many and so much that it can be hard to really settle down with one person too. But not always, because there is also that deep potential for true unconditional love and givingness. So when they really do find their actual true soulmate, which that can be confusing for them too, because they can feel like they have many and they can have relationships with people that are actually just taking from them, but they're not. They think they're their soulmate, but they're not. But anyways, when they do actually find their true love soulmate, they have the potential for some of the most beautiful, romantic, dreamy kind of love that is like truly a fairy tale or like out of a romance novel or movie. Like that is what they are truly capable of, what is truly meant for them, although they definitely at times have to go through some lessons first. Now, something that should also be mentioned here is the artistic ability of Venus and Pisces. So these can be the true artists, the musicians of the zodiac, or even if they're not directly involved in music or art, they have an artistic way of doing even the most basic life things. Because Venus in the sign of Pisces is just so naturally gifted in that way. They can hear like the angels singing at any random given time. Like they're also very spiritually in tune as well. And sometimes this is why I want to mention this for sure. It's like this is such a natural part of them that they might not even realize how spiritually gifted or artistically gifted they are, because sometimes our greatest gifts are, so like obvious to us that we miss them because it's just such a natural part of us. So people with Venus and Pisces need to be reminded of how gifted they are in that sense. It's a very common placement to see in artists and musicians, and creators of like the most beautiful works of art, and they can truly make their life, even if they aren't directly involved in those areas, they can make their life a living work of art. And that is one of the beautiful potentials of Venus in this sign. Now, something they need to be careful of is money slipping through their fingers, being led on in the heart. Like, this is the kind of person that would fall for a sob story, or they want to give the shirt off their back for someone. They need to actually learn to be more like their polar opposite, Virgo energy, and have discernment, and like purify their energy to not just allow everyone in and allow everyone to take from them or twist their arm into giving more than is actually good for them. They need to first learn how to love themselves and prioritize themselves first. So this is Venus, and actually the most giving sign of all. So that's one of their life lessons, is learning to first give to themselves and love themselves. And then from that place of being full with their own self-love, then they can give to others in a truly healthy way. And then that's when we can see the highest potential of this Venus sign manifest, which is true, healthy, beautiful love, but in a very real way, not a fantasy. It's actually like a real live fairy tale love and romance that is healthy for both people. And these people can be very inspiring too. There's something magical about them. There's something ethereal about them. There's something magnetic and beautiful about them. And they will really do anything for a loved one. They can be some of the most beautiful, open-hearted people once they overcome those challenges. And they can really love all different types of people from all walks of life. Like, I joked about this in some of my other Venus sign videos when I was talking about Venus and Pisces man, his type. I said his type is all women. He loves all women. Now, that could be seen as a negative thing, but really, like, this is Venus in its highest potential, because you can love everyone. And once you learn those lessons of discrimination and self-love first, you can really be like this living, breathing example of God's love, or universe love, source love. And that is powerfully magnetic. And so this person naturally receives blessings and good and abundance and miracles in their life because of a true open-heartedness and givingness towards life. And one of like the spiritual laws of life is, when you give, you receive. So the Venus and Pisces person gets to be the prime example of, when you live in an open-hearted, trusting way, things get to work out for you, as long as you have first that solidness of self-love. So that's one of their big lessons that they're learning. Truly beautiful people, amazing artists, givers, lovers. They can really be good in like the helping professions, counseling, healing, art, music. These are all things they're really naturally gifted at. And you really want to have a Venus and Pisces person around when you need someone to lend a compassionate ear for your problems. And they can really just listen to people and not try to, like, a lot of times when people are listening, they're just waiting for what they're going to say next. So the Venus and Pisces person can truly hear you and empathize with you without trying to interject their point of view. Because with Venus and Pisces, it's almost like sometimes their point of view, it's not as important as just being there for you and being there for someone. So it's a really beautiful placement. They can also be on the more shy side as well, because of their sensitivity. But yeah, it is exalted, so there is a really high potential once they overcome these challenges.